Good night. H. Mahara here. Are all borderlines pathological liars, compulsive liars, always lying? Are all borderlines gonna ghost or discard you? Are all borderlines the same? Are all borderlines women? Of course, the answer to all these questions is no, very easily and obviously. And then, borderline personality is becoming, across the internet, not every source, but largely on a lot of different, in a lot of areas online. Some people are more responsible for it than others. Borderline personality is becoming mythology. Okay? So I've read things recently. I saw something that said borderline personality disorder isn't real because they're all just little, quote, snowflakes, what the person said, on Tumblr, and they're just faking everything, and that's that, because that person was on the autistic spectrum and said so, that they were on the autism spectrum, and that they had ADHD, whatever the heck that really means. I'm not here to say what it means or doesn't mean, but here's what I'm here to do in this video, so it'll be popular as mud, I get it. Challenge, again, your notion, if you are a non-borderline codependent ex of somebody with BPD, a person, maybe some people have had 4 exes with BPD in their lives, or 3, but usually it's one person in your life. Don't doubt your experience at all. I'm here to work with clients, here to work with people to help them heal from these relationships, family of origin work, self-differentiation, the inner child healing work, and there's much more to it than that. But you know what your first challenge is as a non-borderline codependent with all the borderline videos out there that I'm not gonna, I can't make too many more of them. I just can't. I like to inform, I like to explain, I like to keep it real to help you heal, I like to keep it accurate. But if you would care to participate on this channel, and if you don't want to, fine, could you leave a comment below with what you'd most like to hear? Because I'm going to become a borderline myth debunking channel. And that's not even to defend people with BPD. People with codependency need to realize something. If you want accurate information, and if you want to work this through somehow at some point in your life, right? Whether you know that you're the ex firmly and you have boundaries yet, or it's on, off, you're hoovering there, you're reverse hoovering there, hoovering your stuff, hoovering their media, their social media. So the thing is, today on the channel, no offense to the commenter, somebody just was convinced because they read it all over the internet. Well, that makes it all perfectly reasonably right? No, it doesn't. That people with BPD, all people with BPD are INFJs on the friggin' Myers-Briggs thing, which doesn't even matter in life in general, and is not a measurement of mental health or lack thereof. And it's everywhere. Because I Googled after I saw this question, saw a lot of the sources talking about this. Ooh, borderlines are all INFJs. Who cares? So here's the thing. Do you care more about that than you care about yourself? Do you care more about that than you care about your own healing? So are all borderlines, fill in the blank? The answer is no. Unless you say, are all borderlines, have they had a sensitive temperament? Maybe due to the, neuroscience we understand now about when children are being created in the womb, like when they're growing and stuff. Yeah. Do all borderlines have, let me see, what else applies? Some patterns that are familiar, like that will be similar to each other if they're untreated? Yes, but do they manifest the same in all people with BPD? No. So again, what am I here to say? Okay, not much actually, because I'm pretty much almost done on YouTube, so that could throw a lot of people. But if you want to hear more from me, you want to see more from me, then what I'd like to hear from you is what you want to know more about. Because borderline personality is being, it's just a living urban legend in more places than not. Now, of course, there's lots of places with good information on BPD, right? But there are many, many, many more that are just urban legend and myth. And is that what you want to predicate your recovery on as a non-borderline codependent? Is that what you want to predicate your mental health and well-being on? I would hope not. So borderline mythology all across the internet, with, of course, many factual sources on the internet as well, of course. Why do you care? And I'd really like to hear from people, because if you do, you do, right? But why do you care? Number one. Number two, how is it going to help you to heal? Because people can be angry, people can be, maybe too empathic, people can be in all different kinds of places after these relationships the BPD relationship breakup. And the other thing is, how do you think it's going to help you in the long run to get to where you want to be, so that once you know the relationship is over with the ex with BPD, that you can get into some healing and recovery for yourself that will really matter in your life. Because if you don't, it's simple. You'll end up with another cluster B. You'll end up with another person with BPD or a narcissist or what have you. Why? Codependent patterns. So what am I here to say to you today? Why aren't more people engaging this channel? Number one, in general, but that's up to all of you. That's fine. Number two, why aren't you engaging to find out more? Many people have, but I'm just a challenge to those maybe who haven't. Why aren't you engaging this channel to find out more about the accuracy and the intricate explanations that I've given now in the 756 videos, counting this one, on this channel? So I don't know how many more there needs to be. So if you want to see more from me, put it in the comment section. Let me know what it is. Ask questions. Maybe I'll do a few more live streams to try to garner that kind of answer. But here's the thing, or what people are interested in. I have something on the community tab too. Maybe you could go vote on that. It's going to take 300 to 400 votes for me to make another video on that anyways, on whatever the selection choices are. So the point is, yeah, I'm going to have some news coming soon about why there'll be less videos on YouTube. And I'm not saying none, just less. But there's going to be more that are trying to move people further forward to where they need to go. As I've been working with clients for 31 years now, I kind of understand that process for people. Been through it myself on both sides of the issue. So what I just want to end by saying, people with codependency, non-borderline codependence, when you've been hurt by somebody with BPD, one person maybe, right? Maybe two, who knows, or more. But that's all you should focus on, is that one person. Not they're all the same, they all do this, they all do that. And what do you mean when and you don't all say it out there, but a lot of people are all over online going, my borderline, yeah, my borderline was the same as your borderline. But they weren't, were they? Because it wasn't the same person. Anyway, so all codependents might not realize that you're showing patterns, not all, okay, can't say all, but I could say, if I wanted to just be silly, like the mythology around BPD, let's just mythologize, if that's a word. Let's create mythology around codependency. Would that be comfortable for you? That all codependents are the same. And then we could say something really derogatory and horribly stigmatizing, just for the heck of it. And I'm not here to defend people with BPD and their poor treatment or behavior, etc. But I am here to say that the way to non-borderline codependent recovery and recovery from these relationships has nothing to do with the person with BPD that is or was in your life. So people with codependency, sooner or later, wherever you are, you're going to need to kind of remember what I just said if you don't agree with me right now. So what would you like to see more on this channel? And what is your biggest, do you think? What do you believe most strongly about all people with BPD? What's your myth? What are you hanging on to? Please share in the comments. We'll see if anybody does. And why do you think that BPD mythology, in other words, misinformation and all this stuff, people are now saying, yeah, there are certain Myers-Briggs type. No, they're not. No, they're not all. And what does that matter anyway? It's my challenge. It's a question. So anyway, yeah, that's enough for me for maybe another couple months. We'll see. I want to be helpful here, but I must say that the questions, which are fine, please keep asking them, and I'll keep answering them with, the reality that so many of the questions asked, not all on this channel, but a lot here and there, are borderline mythology type questions, which aren't going to help you to feel any better, aren't going to help you to heal. And how are you going to make sure you don't run into the next cluster B if you don't get accurate information, which I do offer on this channel and on my websites? If you don't get, and I mean, so do some others, but some others don't, right? Many others do, many others don't. What are you going to do to help yourself? Because if you try to go the BPD relationship breakup recovery process and codependency recovery on your own, trust me, I get clients all the time that have 3, 5, 10 years of this, and they might have been out of the relationship for a long time, like years, but they're not over it, they haven't healed, they haven't recovered. So all codependents aren't the same, all borderlines aren't the same. What's your favorite borderline myth, or what is it that you believe so strongly about a person with BPD? Put it in the comments below. Let's see what you guys are thinking, because there's a lot of mythology out there about BPD. It's not helping anybody.